I'm 50. I mean, my daughter's graduating high school and I have better abs than her. 4 or 5 short months, my body's completely different. 50-year-old woman, you've got kids, you've got a husband, you've got sick parents, you've got work. It's a lot, and you often get pushed to the bottom. You have to push yourself to the top, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. And I want to keep going, and Nick and I are working to build muscle and keep working on the abs. I want to see more ab definition.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Today, we have a very special one. We're joined by one of our Fit Vegan superstars, Victoria. Victoria, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to have you on the show to talk about your journey.
I'm excited too. I've been really happy with my results.
Yeah, and I appreciate you taking the time. I know life is busy right now, and so I'm excited that we're taking this time today. And before we started recording, you had mentioned that it was actually these episodes that made you and your husband look into Fit Vegan.
Mm-hmm. It was. We had heard you on another podcast with Rip Esselstyn, and we looked at some of your results, and we both had different reasons for joining. I wanted to gain muscle. My husband wanted to lose weight, and we thought we could both do that with your program.
Oh, beautiful. Well, yeah, let's dive into it. Like, what was it that made it that you guys wanted to make this commitment towards being more intensive on, monitoring your nutrition and exercises that made you ultimately join the program?
We were eating a vegan diet, but not a healthy vegan. We were doing vegan cheeses and plant-based meats. And overall, I think it was healthier than the normal diet. I'm a family doctor that does whole food plant-based with my patients, and I wasn't exactly doing that myself. I was not overweight, but my husband had been gaining weight because he'd been loving all the vegan but not healthy vegan food I'd been making. And he had some health issues. He had been diagnosed with cancer 6 years ago, and we really wanted to improve his health to decrease his chance of getting cancer back. And we knew he needed to get the weight off. So after we heard your podcast on RIP, we decided that me getting stronger and gaining muscle was a benefit, and him losing weight and gaining muscle would be a benefit. And we hadn't been able to do that on our own. And we thought you could help us.
I'm sorry, for your husband having to go through that. Was that kind of the catalyst for both of you to go whole food plant-based, or were you prior?
So I have been vegan for 12 years. I did the Cornell plant-based nutrition course, done that with my patients. I met my husband 8 years ago, and he ate chicken, cheese, and corn, and literally that was it.
Yeah.
So he was I call him hematarian until he got cancer. And the type of cancer he got was vocal cord cancer. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, no risk except heartburn from his diet.
Yeah.
And I said, we're going to treat the cancer, which he had surgery and radiation for 6 weeks. And I said, we need to change our diet. So he went vegan at that point, but not healthy vegan. So his cancer is 6 years in remission in November.
Good.
But we still weren't where we wanted to be. And you've kind of helped us get there since June.
Yeah. Well, you guys both have an incredible transformation. I think you went from like 144 to 127. So a nice shift in body composition. If I got it right, your husband lost about like 30 pounds roughly as
35 the last time we checked, 35 pounds, and he's still going. Yep.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, was there any apprehension before starting the program? Was it your first time doing something online like this?
It was, and we'd always worked out. We were walking, we were intermittently doing weights, but like I said to him, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to change my workout. I wasn't getting any results, so I would stop and nothing would really happen. And again, I wasn't really in it to necessarily lose weight. I wanted to gain muscle. I didn't know how to do that. And my coach, Nick, who is awesome, has showed me how to do
Good
that.
energy.
He is amazing. I have to say, because I have to call him out on this. I had abdominal surgery a month into this program, and he got me through a month or 6 weeks of no exercising, no abs. We gained no weight, we lost nothing, and got right back into it. Like, he checked on me the day of surgery. Every day after that, he would text me like, Nick is the most amazing coach. To get through abdominal surgery and not lose any progress is amazing. And that's thanks to Nick.
Yeah, he's the best. He's my coach for the past like 7 years.
Yes.
And I've decided he's so good, I should just hire him to work with our members.
Yes.
And I'm happy I did, because I honestly, I've never seen Nick have a bad day.
No, he always, I mean, he knows about my husband. He checks on me. He knows about my kitten. Like he knows the little bits that are important. And I just got like, he convinced me to run. I've now signed up for a 5K, a 10K and a half marathon. Thanks
Nice.
to Nick. But I have a hip injury now and he's working me through that. And he just sent me 7 emails with exercises to do. So I literally cannot say enough about how supportive my coach is. I couldn't get through any of this without him.
Yeah, Nick has that influence on people. You talk to him long enough, you'll be signed up for a 5K at one point.
Yes. I'm like, I've signed up for all these races. And he's like, woo. He talked me into it. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm curious, like when you got started, obviously we come in, we build you a meal plan, we build you your training plan. How was that different compared to what you were doing before?
So I I was definitely vegan, healthier. I think that my portions were too big. So again, I was only
Mm,
144 pounds. I'm 5'10", so I wasn't overweight. I was soft, a little soft and
yeah.
squishy. I think I was eating too big of a portions and not enough protein. And Nick kind of found my sweet spot where we were able to kind of, I think I've dropped 6% of body fat, which is a lot.
You're
I just
lean.
lean and I can see abs. I haven't seen abs since I think high school. I'm 50. So,
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's graduating high school and I have better abs than her. Shh.
Yeah,
Don't
that's a
say
good
that.
win.
It is a good win. I think that I wasn't really apprehensive about the food because I knew I had no problem with the food. I think the most thing I was apprehensive about was the exercising because I didn't know what to expect. And we have 2 teenagers and I work 12 hours a day at work. So I wanted to exercise at home. What I liked was that Nick made a program where I could use resistance bands, the dumbbells that I had at home, and I could work out at home. I didn't have to go to a gym. That was really important to me. And he tailored everything to what I could do at home. And we literally just had a meeting. We had one of our calls last week and it wasn't working. And he changed the whole plan for me. Overnight, he fixed it. And like he always does that. Like he's just
Yeah.
the best guy. And I said, this isn't working. He said, let's fix it. And we got together and we fixed it. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Again, that's what we need to do at the end of the day, right? That's why your coaches are there to serve you and make sure that you don't plateau and we keep you going in the right direction.
yes.
Um, as a part of kind of the tools that you got access to in the program, what were the things that were the most helpful for you? Was it like
I,
I'll just name a few like community group calls, one-on-one check-ins, weekly check-ins, calls, messages?
I think actually what's funny, because I cook a lot, but I think your recipes were awesome because of portion control. Really,
Hmm.
portion control was the biggest thing. Too many simple carbs. For me, it was, like I said, the portion control. I love your ethnic recipes, your Asian, your lentil masala soups. All those things are kind of my go-tos, my Buddha bowls. Getting portion control, getting my calories under control was important for me and my husband. I think my one-on-one coaching and my check-in were the most important. Honestly, I don't have time for group calls. I work 12 hours a day with being a physician. I love the Fit Vegan Tribe. I do look at the stuff. I don't really participate that much, but I like it. Really, for me, the biggest thing is my coach. He
Yeah.
really is the reason I'm sticking with it. I never, even when we go away, I take my bands with me and we work out in hotels. I just feel accountable to Nick and myself. So I don't miss workouts and I don't miss the things I need to eat because I know I'm going to have to tell Nick at the end of the week that I screwed up and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. Again, the group calls are there. Again, they're recorded so people can watch them at their own time. But we work with a lot of physicians, which understandably working a 12-hour day, I understand not wanting to sit down for an hour group call. So I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah. What are some of the changes you notice in your body from, doing consistent strength training? Because I know you were exercising before.
hmm I think all my clothes are too big. I told Nick and he was laughing. We just went to a wedding of one of my old nurses. My husband looked like a clown. His clothes were ridiculously big, even with a belt. I'm like, okay, well, we have to go. And my dress was all of my clothes are too big. And again, I wasn't in it to lose weight, but because I'm toned and lost that weight, I literally need to buy all new clothes. So I notice it in how my clothes fit. I'm stronger, I'm leaner. I haven't felt this good since I was in college.
That is a good feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, all these years after. And yeah, I think it is a side effect that people don't consider is when you tone up and you improve your body composition. It's like, yeah, your wardrobe doesn't fit
Nothing
anymore.
fits.
And
I
you unfortunately have to go shopping.
Which is not a bad thing. I figured I'm not going to summer shop till next year, but my daughter laughs at me every time I put on shorts because they're too big. I probably only dropped maybe one size, but it's a huge size, like a 6 to a 4, because I'm toned and lean, and things just fit better. There's none of that bulge. Like I had some, like kind of the love handles, they're gone. The stomach
Yeah.
bulge is gone, um, and even cellulite gone. So
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for it. It's only we just started in June. So I
Yeah.
couldn't be happier with my results.
Yeah. So it's been what, like 3, 4 months now?
September. Oh, going on 5. And we literally
5.
missed 6 weeks because of that abdominal surgery. So all I could do was walking. And
Yeah.
we kind of worked our way through that. So yeah, amazing for just that amount of time considering I had surgery. How much change we've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to get the time frame because we're going to post this, much later than we're recording it because I'm scheduled
Yes.
ahead of time. So
Mhm.
people have a realistic time frame of, how this happened.
Yes.
Um, so, this we get this from time to time where couples do the program together. I think it's a beautiful thing because food is such a big part of a relationship
Mhm.
and how people get to spend quality time together. So, understandably, you guys had really strong reasons to both transition and live this lifestyle. But I'm wondering for the people that are listening that are other couples that are in the program or considering being couples in the program, how was it for you guys to kind of go through the meal plan and go through your training sessions?
So I'm going to be really honest with you. My husband and I have very different tastes in food. He has made his own food choices and he cooks his food and I cook my food and they do never cross. I
Yeah.
like the ethnic food. I like your Indians inspired and he likes not. So we do not share food. Basically, we cook our own meals for the week and then we cook for our kids. They don't eat our food. They eat whatever they're eating. And then our workouts are separate, except we do our walks together. So even though we're kind of together, we're kind of parallel, never touching, but
Yeah.
we're super supportive. We have different tastes in food and we respect that. He's found recipes online in on your site that he likes, and I found recipes I like, and we just go with it. And that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's kind of how
Yeah.
Ivy and I do it to a certain extent. She doesn't like my cooking, how I cook, because there's no text, not as much texture and flavor as she would like. So
That's funny.
sometimes she'll make her own thing. I'll make my really basic, air fried tofu with sweet potato and broccoli
Yes.
and a little bit of nutritional yeast, and that's it. And yeah, we just go to the gym at the same time, but we don't do the same workout. But at
Yeah. I'll
least
go
there's
and
that.
run, and he will do his walk, and that's kind of what we do.
Right? But it's still that bonding experience. You guys are exercising, you're living this lifestyle together.
Mhm.
Um, has there been some, how to say that, just making fun of each other, like holding each other accountable? If you're like wanting to slip on a workout, has there been any of that?
No, not with that, but with food, because I found bagels in my kitchen, and I'm like, what are these bagels doing here? And my husband just ran in the other room. I'm like, so I have
Getting
learned.
it called out.
I did. I was like, I don't remember buying bagels. So I've learned I don't call him out on it. He's continuing to lose weight. And if he plateaus, he knows what he did and he has to but yes, we call each other out more on food than we do because he hasn't missed any workouts. Although I think he's getting sick. So I'm not sure he worked out today, but he's been really good and motivated and he still has about 35 pounds to lose. So he knows it's going to take a while, but I always tell him he didn't gain it overnight. He's not going to lose it overnight. So he just has to keep pushing on.
Yeah, and he's going at a really nice pace as well.
Mhm.
But no, I think that's what's beautiful about doing it with your partner is it's not, you're not calling them out in a harsh way, but like you said, like, why is there bagels here? I don't remember. I don't remember shopping for those.
Why are they hidden on top of the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's all the stuff in the fridge in the back hidden behind all the condiments?
Yes. No, he's been he learned to bake during COVID. I was working at work being a physician. I
Yeah.
didn't get, he was staying home with the kids and he learned to bake and he was eating a lot of bread and everybody gained weight during COVID and it just was terrible. So bread is his like Achilles heel. So I have to be careful we don't bring too much bread in the house because he
Yeah.
really likes bread. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, he gained a new skill. That's the win out of this
He
whole
did.
thing.
He makes an amazing focaccia. He did, yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Nice. Um, so, when people hear the stories of members, they hear like, hey, you're able to improve your body composition, get a great transformation. Yeah, I had the blessing of doing that with your husband. You kind of, both of you guys going through, a life-changing transformation. They often hear this journey being as an easy one or a path of where there isn't a lot of resistance. But I know that's not the truth because, like we talked before, your kids are sick, the household is crazy right now, and you found the time to find 1 hour to record with me, which I greatly appreciate. But do you mind kind of sharing some of the obstacles, for example, the surgery you had to go through and that you've had to overcome along the way that allowed you to ultimately be in the position that you're in?
I think anything where you're committing, because we're exercising 4 days a week, and our so exercise 4 days a week plus some cardio and diet every day is a commitment. And I think we invested monetarily in this, which wasn't a small amount, but my husband and I said, what is our health worth? I mean, there's no cost to being healthy, and we're not going to get there on our own. So we decided to invest in you and us and put our money where our mouth is and jump in for 8 months. And I think we've had my and Nick had literally didn't Nick has talked me through my mother dying of metastatic breast cancer during this time, and he was
Mm,
super supportive, and I was taking care of her, still trying to get my workouts in. But I found that 40 minutes a day, 4 times a week was my time. It would be me and
yeah.
my one cat that liked to participate. I'd shut the door, the kids would leave me alone, and I would take the time for me because my health is important. So I think making myself a priority for exercise was super important. And I don't think I've missed any days. I may have moved them around, but I didn't miss my workouts. And that I was accountable to me. And I think meal prepping, like you guys encourage, helps me not to skip. Like I'm at work and everybody is ordering food. I have my food. I don't want to order food. And I'm really careful not to eat over my meal plan. So trying not to go off the meal plan even when we travel. It's a little harder. We were just in Chicago, and we
Good
ate all
food there.
vegan, not as quite as healthy, but we ate all vegan and we tried to limit our portions. But if you make it a priority to take care of yourself and be consistent, you see the results. So we have been super consistent and amazing results in just 4 or 5 short months. My body's completely different. And I want to keep going. And Nick and I are working to build muscle and keep working on the abs. I want to see more ab definition, and he knows that, so he's working with me. But I've never seen this much response from weight bearing exercise ever. So I'm super thrilled.
Yeah. Well, a few things. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss, for
Thank you.
mom. That's how hard that is. Well, again, I can't say that I know how hard that is because me was a partner, not a parent, right? It's very, very different energy to it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's there's a thing to being to exercise being an outlet during those
Mhm.
times, right? Like I don't know for you, but I needed to latch on to something during that time of my life when it was the whole cancer period and exercise with that thing. And I did it obsessively to an extreme of doing Ironmans. That was kind of my way. I'm happy that you didn't go to that extent
No.
during that time. um, yeah, how was that for you to be able to kind of use exercise as again something to hold on to or a foundation?
It was super important. I would put at that point, I wasn't running. Nick hadn't convinced me yet. I was doing 6 mile walks a couple times a week, put the earbuds in, listen to my vegan podcasts, and just breathe and walk and clear my mind. And it was super important because at work, I'm totally focused on work. And then I would come home and try and go and help my dad take care of my mom. And I needed to take that time. And when I would do my workouts every night, the time for me, not to think about anybody else. Because as a 50-year-old woman, you've got kids, you've got a
Hmm.
husband, you've got sick parents, you've got work. It's a lot. And you often get pushed to the bottom. You have to push yourself to the top because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take about care of anyone else. So I've kind of learned that in the last 5 months. I'm just as important as anybody else in this family. And that 40 minutes of time is okay to give myself 4 times a week to do my resistance training.
Do you mind if we dive into that a little bit?
Sure.
just just because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that part what you just shared, accepting that it's okay for them to spend 40 minutes, 30 minutes on themselves to do an exercise or to simply be in the kitchen to prepare food so that they can be better prepared for life whenever it
Mhm.
happens, whenever you need to show up for the people that you care for. Was it like an immediate, like, oh no, this makes sense, I need to block off that 40 minutes and regardless of what happens I have to do this? Or was there a little bit of resistance and guilt into allowing yourself to have that time at first?
So deep dive into my family. I have a daughter that has a health problem. My oldest has a chronic health condition that I've spent most of the last 4 years taking care of her, trying to get her
Mm,
better. And she didn't get better until I stepped back and let her take that health problem onto herself and realize she needs to take care of herself. And at that point, which is about when I started with you guys, I said, she's going to take care of herself. She's almost 18. I'm going to take care of myself. And when I started taking care of me, she started taking care of her, and her health problem is better. She's actually getting
yeah,
better after 4 years of being incredibly sick. And I think I want her to see that it's okay to take care of yourself. And they know, like I told them, I'm in here. And if you need something, call your dad. Those 40 minutes, take care of yourself. And that's super important to show your children that you're just as important as anybody else in the family. Moms tend to take a step back. We always
yeah,
help the kids with homework, we cook, we clean, and I still do all those things. But there are 40 minutes a day that don't bother me because I need my time. And that makes me a better mom, a better wife, a better person. And I thank you for that because I would fit in exercise wherever I could, and it wasn't really consistent and it wasn't getting me anywhere before you guys.
yeah. Well, I'm really happy that you got to that place where you're okay with allowing yourself to take that 40 minutes, because I feel like mentally it's a journey for a lot of people to get to
Mhm.
that place where they accept and or realize the value of being able to take whatever that amount of time is for themselves, because it does help you to recharge. It does help you to kind of put you in a better position to, again, necessarily the word serve, but like serve the people that you love, care for the people that you love. But and I know, it is hard to get to that place where you don't feel guilty taking that time for yourself or doing something for you when people around you that you care for are having a hard time. Like, it's very
Yes.
hard.
It is. I have kids that need help with homework and this and that. And sometimes my workouts take place at 9 o'clock at night, and that's okay. I don't go to
Yeah.
bed until my workouts are done because I would feel like Nick was going to yell at me. Not really yell, but
I've never seen
like I
Nick yell
no,
besides of
oh God,
excitement.
no. He just laughs. He laughs a
Yeah.
lot. No, but I'm accountable to Nick. Like I feel like I want to make him proud. So no matter what, like I'm going to exercise and do my workout after we're done tonight. My kids
Yeah.
know I'm going to talk to Maxim and then I'm going to exercise. Leave me alone. Because I we've been away for 3 days and I pushed my workouts back, but I miss them actually. Now that if I don't do them, I miss them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
it
Interesting of a
is.
shift. At first, you're like, it's working out. I should do it because I know it's good for me. But you push it off and you don't feel too guilty about it. But when you miss it, it feels like there's a piece of you missing.
Hmm. Yeah, because I want to get better and I want to get stronger. Um, and I see the results, which I just never saw before. I never saw it. My son and I have gun shows where we're showing. So I have to tell you, I
Yeah.
told Nick we went to get our flu and COVID shots, and the pharmacist is like, "I'm gonna have to tell the Target shoppers there's a gun show." When he went to give me my flu shot, I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure your son's having fun with it because I used to do the same thing with my mom. She'd be working out,
Yes,
like, her transformation. She lost a bunch of weight. So when I
yes,
go and visit her, she's like looking at me. She's flexing her biceps, like, hey, look at this. Look at
yes.
these
We have.
biceps. Look at these abs.
Yeah, he's 16, so he's all into the guns and the abs right now. Yes.
Yeah. He'll be in that phase for like another 10 years at least.
Probably. Yeah, right now he's really mad because he has pneumonia and he can't work out for a couple days. I'm like, no, you have to rest. Go to your room and play on Xbox. You're done. So he's not happy.
Yeah. That's another hard lesson to learn, to know when to rest and to be okay to rest.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You've probably noticed, again, I don't know if you listen to some of the group calls, you kind of watch the messages go on the group chat, but we have a lot of very type A, perfectionistic, all or nothing type of people in the group. And I would gracefully put you in that category with me. And us as a category, as a group of people, we have a hard time resting. And so, you being a doctor, working 12 hours a day at a time, taking care of, of your parents, your husband, your kids, and kind of everything happening besides the workout, how do you find time to kind of recharge your, I call it the soul battery. There's like the superficial battery of like when you sleep, that's like charging your phone, but there's like an internal soul battery. Like, how do you find the time, or how do you recharge that internal battery?
I definitely read. I'm a big reader, and I have a book club, and I have good friends. And then my husband and I walk. We don't walk for exercise, we walk for love. And we have
Mm.
loops that we do around our neighborhood, and we just talk and walk, not counting steps, just talking and walking. And then, like I said, I'm an avid reader. That's my downtime. I bring books to work, and between patients, if I have time, I read. I read at lunch. That's how I recharge my soul. I read. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I'm on the same boat as you every morning. You can't
Yes.
start a morning without a cup of coffee and a good book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, awesome. Well, love to ask you for a few pieces of advice in terms of if you were to share some of the knowledge that you have now with the younger version of you. Because, like you mentioned, this is the first time that you're really noticing your body shifting and being that responsive to
Mhm.
exercise and to nutrition. If you had the opportunity to talk to yourself, a decade or two ago, as you're kind of maneuvering life and trying to figure this thing out, what would you share with this younger version of yourself?
I wish I had asked for help earlier on exercise because I know a lot about medicine. I know nothing about exercise. And if you don't know what you're doing and you can't change what you're doing up and change how you're doing it, you're going to get nowhere. And I realize I don't know that. Nick knows that. He helps me. You're just going in circles at the gym, doing the same things over and over again and not getting results. And it's frustrating. So I wish I'd had the sense to ask for help for something I didn't know. And I wish I'd asked for help with my diet because, again, I was eating a healthy diet, but too much, too much for me, and not
Yeah.
enough protein, which is something I will say is my one struggle getting the food in. Because at the end of the night, I'll realize I'm low in protein. I need to have a protein shake and I'm full. So I
Yeah.
struggle. I struggle with that because I'm not a big person. So I have to force myself. But asking for help because we maybe think we know stuff and we don't. We know what we do. I know medicine very well. I don't know
Mhm.
exercise physiology and I don't know nutrition when it comes to building muscle. So if I'd asked for help, I might have gotten here sooner, but eventually we did and we found you guys. And things are wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that because, I said we've worked with probably over 60 like doctors and physician at this point, and a lot of people are shocked that doctors are asking for help. I'm like, everyone has their field of expertise,
Mhm.
and I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm sure you've noticed that as well. I feel like the most successful people that are around me all have help, and all the ones that are the least successful and struggle the most, all trying to do it by themselves. They're like, no,
Yes.
no, no. Let me just read these 10 books so I know the subject, and then I'll do the
I'm
thing.
just going to Google it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
just go on Chat GPT. I'll learn what I need to learn. It's Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you've learned a lot about being a doctor and a physician, actually being a physician than what you learned in school. Like, you learned the basics, but
Yes.
there's an art to dealing with people. There's an art
Mhm.
as to how you're going to give a recommendation to someone that is mentally struggling, someone that's type A, someone that's not type A. Like, you would navigate the piece of advice very differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick can read the audience and knows where to go with it. Like I
Yeah.
said, I can't say enough. He literally got me through surgery and my mother's death, and we still got to where we are today. So I think the most amazing thing about your program is the coaches and the support and how much they tailor it to the person and what they need. At least my coach. I can't speak for anybody else's coach, but it was so personalized, so wonderful, and he checks up on me like nobody else. So he is gold. I love Nick to death.
Yeah. Well, you might have a bunch of people wanting to work with Nick now, but Sarah's like that
Yes,
too. Sarah's great. She's
yes,
awesome.
yes.
um, oh, beautiful. Well, I just want to say that I'm really proud of you for your transformation
Thank you.
because It first of all, in and of itself, it is not an easy transformation, right? We're changing to a certain extent. We're changing your eating habits. Yes, you were eating vegan, but now we're changing. Like, hey, we're actually going to meal prep. The proportions are going to be different. We're going to plan ahead, and that's in and of itself is a new system that you have to build into your life. I'm sure it
Mhm.
didn't really come naturally to be like, oh, we're going to
Mhm.
meal prep and prepare all this food for the week, and actually be, instead of just, oh, I'm hungry now, let me put something together and then just eat that dish. Like, how did you navigate building this little system for yourself, because you have kids, and like you mentioned, you and your husband are going to eat different food. So do you help him with the cooking? Does he help you with the cooking, and you guys are
So
both on
we
cooking your
are
thing?
cooking completely. I cook for myself on Sundays and Wednesdays. I have no idea. He works from home, so I don't know when he cooks. I don't ask the questions. I just know he's losing the weight.
He
And
just
then
has a
I
meal delivery coming while you're at
No, he
work.
really does cook. He just cooks when I'm at work because
Yeah,
he says when I'm in the kitchen, things are messy and he doesn't want to, he doesn't ever cook when I'm in there. But I cook on Sundays and Wednesdays and then I cook for the kids and it just, the kids actually like it now because they get to decide what they eat every other night. They each get to pick because I'm not cooking. So now, I mean, I'm
yeah.
not picking. So the kids are thrilled because they get all the foods they love. And I just eat our food and I don't miss that food at all. I don't miss the vegan cheeses and I don't miss the plant-based meats. I feel so much better eating the food that you guys, your recipes and your portion sizes. I never feel sick. I never feel over full. I feel wonderful.
That's what I was going to ask you in terms of being full. Like, obviously, as we're improving body composition, the calories are getting a little bit lower. How was that for you? Was there like upfront question? Are you starving while you're being
So
this
the
lean?
first week with Nick, I lost 2 pounds, and I'm like, Nick, I think we're doing too much because my blood sugar had dropped really low. I'm at work, I can check it. It was like
Yeah,
60, and I was like, I'm dizzy. And he's like, okay, well, give me one more week and it leveled out. So
yeah.
we stuck with my calorie count, and now we're actually, I don't remember what undieting, I don't know what you call it. We're adding
Reverse
calories
dieting.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just said, just stick with me, and he talked me through it. So it was a hard first week. The transition was difficult. I think my sugars were all over the place. But once I got through the first week, he said, just stick with it. Just, he's very supportive. It was fine. And I felt lighter and better. I'm going to the bathroom better, like not that I wasn't before, but everything was just better, sleeping better. And now if I veer off, like we were in Chicago, so I was eating vegan food, but not particularly healthy, I didn't feel good. I was so happy to get home and meal prep today and make my Buddha bowl. And I'm like, I'm good. I missed your food, honestly, when we were away.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Once you clean out your body and then you kind of step away to go to a restaurant or for a trip or whatever it may be, you're like, and you don't feel as optimal. You're like, I don't like not feeling as
Mm-mm.
optimal. I like feeling how I feel at home.
I like feeling light, and I never, just this lightness that I didn't have before, not weighed down, not a lot of oils. I feel awesome. I don't feel my age. I feel
Oh, you don't
better.
look your
And
age.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, that's
Yeah.
thanks to you guys too. So I know my husband and I went to a cabin and we were in a hot tub. My husband saw me in my bathing. He's like, "Oh my God, thank you, Fit Vegan."
Yeah.
So even my bathing suit fits better. He was like, "Yes, Fit Vegan." So
Yeah.
he says, "Thank you." Yeah.
That is funny. Hey, I'll be honest with you. We've had a few people like that throughout the years where one of their partners wasn't in the program, and I do a podcast or whatever with them, and I jump on a call, and the partner comes in the back with a big thumbs up. He's like, "Thank you. It's great. We went to the beach. Phenomenal. Thank you."
That's what he said. He goes, "Oh my God, you look great in that bathing suit. Not that you didn't look good before, but you look awesome." So
Yeah.
that was nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, men have to navigate these compliments very carefully, right? Because it's always the
Yes.
assumption that before it wasn't as great, but that's not what we mean when we say it. We mean it both ways.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was fine. But he was like, yes, I can definitely see the difference. And I'll have to get a new bathing suit next year because it's too big. So
Yeah. Hey, good problem to have. Enjoy the
it
shopping.
is. Yes.
I might Ivy used to be a stylist before, so I might get her to maybe like lead a group call of some sort. We actually had a few members that want to hire her to be a stylist for their new, because they have to buy brand new wardrobe.
Yes.
But I might get her to lead maybe like a group call or something to kind of,
Actually, I think Ivy was the one that talked to us that convinced us on our initial call. And I just realized that's your wife. And I was like, that's
yeah.
Ivy. She was wonderful. So tell her we love her too. We appreciate her.
I will definitely. Yeah, people are
Yes.
always shocked to see her on the call. They're like, "You're the wife. You're the one on the camera."
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, Victoria, again, I just want to say I'm very proud of you for your incredible transformation. I'm happy you and your husband got to do it together, and I'm happy to see the positive impact that it's having, in you guys' life as a family. And I know by default there's a ripple effect into your community. Again, the people that you work with. Have you ever gotten like, sure you got comments from them like you look different, some things are changing.
Yes. I have talked to my best friend who's a family doctor, and he's not ready to commit, but he saw me at the wedding and he's like, "You look great." I'm like, "Let me tell you about it." So I'm working on him. Yes.
Yeah. And so again, I'm really proud of you because you're doing the work, right? Coach Nick is awesome, but you trusted the
Yes.
process. You did your squats, you did your exercise, you did your meal prep, you ate the food, you went back on track whenever life threw you curveballs. And so, all the glory goes to you because you did all the hard work. I always like to, end the podcast with, words of wisdom or pieces of advice that you would have for people that are listening that are looking to take on this journey for themselves. Again, whether it's with us at Fit Vegan or whether they want to do it on their own, but someone that is looking to take that next step in their life of becoming healthier, of improving their body composition so that they could feel how you feel right now.
I would say I would use you guys, and I would say trust the process and be super consistent, because the more consistent and the more 5 out of 5s you get, 5 I'm following my diet and 5 I'm doing my exercises, you're going to start to, we saw results within 2 to 3 weeks, even in my
Mm.
pictures. If you are consistent and you are maintaining, you will see it so quickly, and it's so motivating. So be really consistent. You paid the money, you invested, do the work, and you're going to see all those wonderful results.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because we're actually working on an episode for 4 years of doing the podcast. And I'm just going to clip all the members saying trust the process because I think that's a piece of advice that comes back the most
Yes.
often.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Victoria, massive thank you for taking the time to jump on the podcast. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. And I'm happy, your kids gave you your space to record
Yes,
this
they did.
episode. And for everyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment to get notified when a new video comes out. If you're watching on podcast, just subscribe. That way you get notified when the next one comes out. If you're interested in working with us, getting a great transformation like Victoria, and you like to have the opportunity to chat with Ivy, right? Just book your call down below, and we love to serve you in your transformation. So, Victoria, thank you very much for jumping on.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.